What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to go over the best decks in each color for BT-10 cross encounters. So without further ado, let's dive into this video and talk about it. So the first red deck I'm going to talk about is none other than the Black War Greymon deck. Yes, it is black and red. You're going to see this with multiple decks in the video that they are going to be dual colors because a lot of it just allows you to play that playstyle. So why am I talking about this? Well, Black War Greymon is the only deck in the format that just literally kills tamers, and that's huge. This deck has a consistent rate of popping tamers. Yes, you have Mastemon with Lucemon, but Black War Greymon can at least take out 2 tamers, maybe even more, depending on the setup and build. And that is going to be what kind of slows down Crosshard to a standstill, which is very important. And being able to play that kind of strategy really does help out in the format, because right now it's like Tamer Rookie Rush style centric, and being able to negate their way of recycling all their Digimon really does put in them on a back burner. The other deck that you might want to consider is going to be Jessamon itself. Jessamon is another deck that is all about having blockers and stuff like that, using the white cards that are Sistermons to gain blocker, decoy, stuff like that, reboot, stuff that is going to just help protect your boss Digimon in the long game. But I feel like in the inevitableness of playing, that Black War Greymon might shine for a bit earlier in the format, then people might switch over to Jessamon if Black War Greymon's just not cutting it. But we'll have to see. So big things about it is it restands if it pops a opponent's Digimon or if they die, so that really helps out. So I mean, being able to have him be an up blocker when you have this Greymon underneath it really does help out, stops them from swinging in, and you get kind of like 2 blocks on their turn, which is terrible. And then you do have Gaiomon here, who is, security +1 reboot and can de-digivolve and blitz on the same turn. Really powerful. They are teching in, you can tech in the new Omnimon X antibody, because why not? So this gets a digivolve on top of your Omnimon. When a Digimon with X antibodies in his Digivolution card would digivolve into this card, reduce the Digivolution by 2. And then when Digivolve in return, all your opponent's Digimon with the highest level to the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. When Digivolving, one attack once per turn by placing 1 X antibody or a level 6 card from this Digievolution card at the bottom of its owner's deck. Reveal all your opponent's security, trash 1 of them, place the rest at the bottom of the security stack face down, and then your opponent shuffles their security stack. Being able to manipulate the security stack will help you out, especially in the control matchups. You're just trying to get rid of any threats in there, and that really does help out. Blitz Omni, Blitz for game, we already know this. And then Omnimon X antibody, just preventative of making your opponent swing in for kills. This helps slow down Crosshard or any other deck, because removing sources just makes it preventable attacks, and that can lead you to actually surviving a turn. Red Mem Boost, just the search stuff. Himikawa here is reveal the top 3 cards to your deck, add 1, tape your 1/2 color cards from among them to your hand, place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. When one of your Digimon would digivolve into a 2-color black Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to reduce the Digievolution cost by 1. So this helps out just because being able to reduce the Digievolution cost is very important, especially since we're going into Black War Greymon or Gaiomon. That means now they're going to be cheaper. It could be Cool Boy if you choose to, but I feel like consistently wise, you want to lower your Ultimate line, because that's where it's so expensive, is Ultimate going into Mega, and that's just kind of the gap there. Tie to set you to 3, and the extra security checks help. Koromon for draw, this Koromon for power, this one's a Searcher Agumon, this one's a Searcher Agumon as well. And then we have Agumon with, extra 2000 DP, allows you to swing in and get more power in there. Greymon, this is just your blocker, straight up. This one puts a protection effect in that's going to help you out. So if they try to remove it outside of minusing its DP, you get at least some protection there. Security +1, checking extra attacks doesn't hurt. Then we have Metal Greymon here, being able to de-digivolve that giant stack of you know, ×5 or something like that. Really does help out. And then you get to delete the 3000 DP or less. You know, they're going to have Shout on there. That's going bye-bye. And then while this Digimon has Dragonkin or Machine in its trait, it can also attack opponents' unsuspended Digimon. That's just very solid, being able to remove threats that way. And then we do have Mega Dramon here. So when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamer with a play cost 3. And then it has the attacking when this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its traits. Delete your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with a play cost 3 or less. Being able to pop out that Angie or, you know, Taiki or, you know, Ikari, you know, whatever you want to pronounce it as. That's how you're just going to control the state. Next, we are going to talk about Blue Flare. Blue Flare is very interesting, this format. It's got like Metal Greymon here for Rush, and it basically takes any Greymon plus a male Bergermon and basically comes in for 3 cost, which is really nasty. Be able to get a level 5 set up like that, and then what you could do is instantly, right after you swung in for 2, go into Decker Greymon. So you'll be stunning board state because of sources restriction. So Metal Greymon is all about meeting its sources, but if you have 2 or 1 situation, which is like they have 3 Digimon out, you can easily stun them, the ones with the lower end, and then just go into Decker to get, as long as you can get a Decker Dromon underneath it, instantly just go boom. Now your opponent's stunned and permanently locked down their whole board, and that just really screws them up for the turn. And that's just very important. You use like Sora and Joe to strip sources from their stuff, and that'll be able to use like Innocent Blizzard to stun their stuff as well. Helps get Metal Greymon's effect off consistently. I mean, you have Kaida's Breath to bounce stuff, Ice Wall to slow them down, Howling Memory to strip and stun, Blaze Memory Boost, you know, revealing the top 6 cards, basically trying to get your Kairaya. So this dude here, Christopher, just basically is your memory setter, but also allows you to get your Digimon from underneath just set up. Most of their effects are based on having your opponent have 2 or more Digimon through their when attacking skills. So this one's just basically makes it a stun variable. Decker Dramon is while your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. And then he has it on play, draw a card and draw more if your opponent has more board state. Greymon's here just for revealing top 4 cards of your deck. Add 2 blue flares in the trait, and if you have, you know, Christopher, you may return 1 Metal Greymon from your trash to your hand. If this Digimon has Blue Flare in his trait and your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, unsuspend this Digimon. Lets you multi-attack. This one's just in here for that extra security check that Metal Greymon can get. And that's not terrible. I mean, we have Vmon for jamming on top of your Upamon. So, I mean, what you could do is just 4-1, just very easily. Gossamon is you may play 1 level 4 card with Blue Flare in his traits from your hand suspended without paying its memory cost, just so you can set up Greymon and then go right into Metal Greymon, because what you're going to hope for is Gossamon dies, and then you go Greymon rested, grab the rest of the pieces you need, and go into Metal Greymon, take the materials of the rested Greymon and maybe the male Bergermon in your hand, or male Bergermon underneath your Christopher, or, you know, Joe and Sora Joe. If you have Christopher out, rest, pull it out. Boom, you're now spiraling in and make your opponent just have a bad day. Death X is just to help slow down the mirror matches and stuff like that. It's just such a powerful card, being able to de-digivolve the board, and since we're in a Tamer-centric format, you want to have that. And then Kumamon's just for hybrid game status, and then male Bergermon is just straight up just to play Christopher from your hand. It's just not a bad idea, and it'd be able to cycle back your Metal Greymons. The next yellow deck, I think Angelomon X Antibody is going to be the kind of the go-to deck for Venusmon, because Venusmon doesn't really have a home at the moment. Red-yellow hybrid is still a deck-ish, but it still needs some weird rearrangement for it to probably be more consistent. But Venusmon, just being able to, all your opponent's Digimon get minus security check, and it's a blanket effect, just preventing them from killing you. But also, when your opponent has security +1, Security, anything plus or minus, they can't attack this Digimon, or when Digivolving or when attacking effects of those Digimons do not activate. So if you do the blanking effect, it guarantees shuts off anything they're doing next turn that is revolving around when attacking or when Digivolving. On plays do still activate, but that's fine. Shutting them down really helps out. You know, using Flame Health Scythe to cycle back in this Angelwolmon here, or the Gatomon if you needed it, really does come in handy. Chaos Degradation, just placing one of your opponent's Digimon face down at the top or bottom of their security stack. If you do, trash the top one. And even if they hit the security, this just basically removes the Digimon, and all that save stuff doesn't activate, so that's just very important. I think that's just the way you want to go, is just make it so that they're just not viable, and that's kind of what we're hoping for. Reinforced Mem Boost, just to stack stuff on top. Win rate 60%, you know the drill here, just to get into your, you know, Ophanimon fall down mode, or Venusmon for a 2 cost, really does help out. Calling from Darkness, cycling pieces. TK, just to grab your yellow pieces out of the security, really helps out. Analog Youth, just to mill more, speeds up your deck. And especially if they kill off anything, let's say, you know, fall down mode, you just can go from there. Mako is just, if you ever play a 2-color, it reduces the play cost, really does help out. Angelwolmon, so if you're at 3 or less, recover 1. Gatomon's basically searching you your yellow and purple Digimon, and while this Digimon, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Archangel or Fallen Angel in its traits, reduce the memory cost by 2, and then you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon one of your other Digimon in play. We don't really care about that. It's just about Digivolving up for 1 cost and then getting some free recovery. This one is just basically for that extra security check when we Digivolve on top of Gatomon, or played through Flame Hell Scythe for free. And then this bridges the gap here, so it gets a -1 security check and then a recovery 1. This keeps us in the game. It's just basically a Jet Sylphie when we can climb in. Pretty simple, because as long as Gatomon was out prior or raising you brought out, it's just very simple to climb up for free and get that free recovery. I know it's restricted to 5 or fewer, so you can't go as crazy as Jet Sylphie, but that still helps out. Psychmon, players can't reduce play costs. That's fine. Gaze can't use memory outside of Tamers, so that helps slow them down. They can't use their memory boosters and stuff like that to kill you. And then you have Demimera, triggering draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. Just all in all, great deck. I think this is yellow's kind of go-to. If not, it might fall back into yellow-red hybrid, so we'll have to see. And then I think green's go-to deck for BT-10 is going to be this deck here. So Grand Kawaga is still a viable deck. The deck is still going to OTK and control board state just how it wants. Digimon being deleted is its goal, and suspending and do some crazy shenanigans that way really does help out. It has a very powerful threshold. Being able to remove it is really tough. They need a lot of Tamers to do this. They need at least 6. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, about 6 Tamers on board to use any DP minusing effects off of this. But you can bounce it and stuff like that. It's not too terrible. But Grand Kawagmon has that security checking ability, which really does help out. A new card in the set was Kokuamon. So when this Digimon attacks and deletes an opponent's Digimon, gain 1 memory. So that really does help out, because now you have a way of Digivolving for this, for you know, a normal climb session. And that's just what you kind of want to do. Palmon is just for that jamming. Terriermon is just the shutdown memory gain from memory boosters. Weedmon is just to gain us a memory when we trash it, so it extends our plays. Metal Kabuterimon, so we can Digivolve on top of our hybrid Mimi, but also can climb up on our level 4s, giving us more resources. Snymon is, if they hit this in security, this really does help out, because we get to play at the end of battle. You may play this without paying its memory cost, and it suspends opponent's Digimon, so if they had another Digimon on board after they swung, you can suspend it, and that might save you a turn. But also, Surprise Digimons really does help out in security. And then Akuamon X is basically to Digivolve on top of this Akuamon. That is going to be when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Insectoids in its trait. All your opponent's Digimon gets, when this Digimon is suspended, lose 1 memory until the end of their next turn. Since we're going to suspend their stuff, we're going to gain this. But it also gives Piercing, so that when we swing in, we can get the check still. And then Akuamon X is if this if Okuamon or X antibody in this Digi-Evolution card, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then if this Digimon is attacking, you may switch the target of the attack, not caring. But when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Insectoids in his trait, reduce the Digi-Evolution by 1. So, making it so we can go into Grand Kuwagamon for 2, and then this becoming a 1-cost evolve on top of Grand Kuwagamon. Green Memory Boost to search stuff. Mimi is to pull out a rookie out of Raising, so we can win for game. And then Electroshocker, if they hit this in security, it bounces that stack back. Most likely, this is really just to help against the ×4 turns and stuff like that. Being able to bounce it before they go pop is now losing all that sources, and they might not have enough to get back into like ×5 or ×4. Really does help out. Minerva Loop, we know about this deck. This deck is going to be crazy good just because of how it's played. And the reason why is because Minervamon plus, you know, Revival from Darkness can lead into Revival from Darkness playing this Cerberusmon, and then Minervamon will play Cerberusmon Werewolf mode when it's deleted, and then that gains you a bunch of memory, and then you can combo off going into like Lilithmon to loop into Jack Raids, or even just Back from Revenge timing this. So what you could do is, you know, if you start the turn with a Minervamon, you have Back from Revenge, activate that on the Minervamon, and then Revival from Darkness. That's 6 cost, but that'll lead you to 3 because of after you popped all this. This will basically set you up really nicely. This will bring you back all the way to, you know, 6 memory, and that's just crazy enough because Cerberus mode will set you up so nicely. And then you can just loop from there. You know, the deck's just basically draw until you get there, because Scatter Mode's going to do that with a Gabumon and Nebimera. And then what you really want to do is be able to set up against like ×4 and stuff like that. Well, Crossheart in general, because this card allows you to play a level 4 or lower Digimon from trash whenever they do it on play. This basically lets you play an infinite blocker. If you can set this up sooner than them, this deck is golden. If you can't, then you're losing to the deck. So that's just kind of time variable here. It's just they need to answer Mervamon, and that's just kind of their big thing. Dead or Alive is just basically to do the Cerberus Werewolf mode combo. Really nasty because let's say you just have Cerberus out, and then they hit Dead or Alive. Instantly Cerberus mode is in your trash or something like that. Instantly play it. Boom. Now your opponent now is losing out in a situation. And what do I mean by that? They're losing out on a full turn because you're instantly getting 9 memory from that, because that was free and he's an on play. Purple is to search. Deathclaw is to get rid of, like, just pop your Mervamon if you need to. Calling from Darkness, cycling in pieces back in, really does help out. You know, Lilithmon's just going to get you there too. Lucimon Chaos mode is just to be played just really nicely when you need to pop a Tamer, or a level 6 doesn't hurt. And then Death X is just clear the board if they need to, and just controls itself. Inkamon Promote is for Rush, not bad. And then like Psychmon is just to negate like Death X's and, you know, nasty Beelzebub Star shenanigans. And then Gaze is just shutting down, you know, memory game from the memory boosters, and, you know, even in the mirror match it helps. And then Electmon just to be able to delete your opponent's level 3s that are going to be slowing you down. Not bad. Alphamon is going to still be the go-to black deck, I think. Alphamon is basically OTK central. This deck can still OTK you at 3, and that's, well, even less than 3. 1 memory, as long as you have the way of climbing from champion up, you're now going just to punish them. If they don't have the memory negation stuff, you're just going to climb and punish them, especially depending on the board state. Especially 1 UJ that gains you a memory and draw. And then Cool Boy for the Cool Boy shenanigans of draw when you Digivolve on top. So if you have like 3 Cool Boys, 1 Yuji, you're golden. You're going to win that match. There's not many times this deck doesn't just cakewalk. And because of the protection this deck has, it's ridiculous. I mean, yes, you can be playing like Kongu and other stuff, but at the moment, it's just a lot of decks are now out of the range of Kongu, and that's just kind of the problem here. But outside of that, the deck is still the same. Searcher, gain memory, or Decoy, but also Researcher, Durumon Draw, Darugamon is your plus 1000 DP, but also gains is a blocker. Dex Daruga basically produces blocker Retal, really nasty. Durugreymon, the security plus 1, but the protection is nasty. Dex Duro, just be able to pop a rookie a level 4 or lower, really does help out. You know, Oriumon, just basically restanding your shenanigans. This one's Alphamon, just being Alphamon. And then you have Alphamon Oryukin. Delete all your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost. You may return up to 7 non-Digi Egg cards from X Antibody and straight from this Digi Evolution cards to the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. Gain 1 memory for each card returned. Basically, yeah, I passed turn, I'm coming back. That's just ridiculous. Black Mem Boost, just being that delay fun shenanigans. And then X Antibody, just so that you can just cheat yourself in. Really good. Outside of that, nothing too out of the ordinary for the list. And then finally, probably everyone's predicted best deck of format, and that is Crossheart. I'm calling this a multicolor deck because it just plays every color, basically. And it's ridiculous. You know, on play with ×4, just being able to on play draw 2, and then being able to pop itself and then reset up another ×4 or a ×5. Just gets ridiculous pretty quickly. And the material save, you get to at least save 2 of your 4, and this thing comes in for 1 at least. But then you have like ×5 that comes in for free if you have all the pieces. It gets ridiculous pretty quickly. You know, you have Durulamon, basically that minusing 3000 DP, really weakening your opponent's Digimon. Really does help out. Ballistamon is just another big beefy blocker. You know, then you have Starmons that has on deletion save, and then if this Digimon is Shoutmon in its name, draw a card. This extends your draw patterns. Pickmon is just for early game rush draw, hopefully filtering your deck out. Shoutmon's just Shoutmon. Being on play, reveal 3 cards from the deck, add 1 Digimon and 1 Tamer, both with Crosshearts in their traits among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. And just the decks is just crazy OTK shenanigans. Sparrowmon's just Sparrowmon on deletion save. While this Digimon has a Digimon or Tamer and Crossheart or Twilight in straight, this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP. So that helps. It's going to be beefy. It's a 5k swinging rookie. That's nasty. And then while this Digimon has Shoutmon or Mervamon in its name, it gains reboot. So you can swing in and at least get some more extra attacks in. You have Grande Soul. I think having a little bit more powerful removal really does help out. And since it's in color, and especially if we can get both our Ballistamons rested, this card will actually suspend one of our, can become in for a 6 cost. And that can just get rid of a big threat on your opponent's side, especially if they're swinging in with, you know, Alphamons and stuff like that that have protection outside of bouncing. That's just going to help, or rewind. Fireball's just so you draw 2, but also gets rid of the rookies that shut you down. Sunride Buster, just being able to that minusing the 3000 DP for each of your opponent's yellow or red while you have red and yellow Tamers. Really gets rid of big threats, and it helps out a lot. Then we have, you know, Christopher, being Christopher. It's just another way of activating Taiki's skill and just setting up and getting the pieces out. It's really helpful. Zenjiro, basically gaining that memory when we hard play something. Tai and Kari, just gaining that extra memory helps out. And then Akari, basically drawing us cards, and then Tai for that memory setting, but also extra security checks. So guys, what did you think of my best decks of format? I do this every set. So hopefully guys enjoyed the video. Remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It matters. It brings up the video. Leave a comment down below. Let's help the algorithm with this. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Remember, I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and peace.